Cool.
Grace, tell us your story. You're not a local,
I'm not a local.
but you've come here. How did you come here?
Yes, so I married into Koorawatha.
Yep.
I met my husband Tom at a picnic race meet out near where I lived in Forbes.
Yep.
So sort of started coming to Koorawatha more and more until I eventually moved over. When Tom and I first started sort of hanging out, the pub was open with the former owners, and I mean, it just wasn't a vibe. It was not the kind of place that you'd come and have a beer and
It was
just
the old school country pub.
where you'd walk into complete silence and people would just turn and look at you and weirdly uncomfortable. Anyways, the Delbos took over it, and I mean, being young people in that rural space, we were always coming here on a Friday night. Like, it was our destination. And I started working for the Delbos, and the reason I suppose I started working at the pub is because I like to know the community and like to know the people that are around me. I suppose we're out of town a little bit, but I think it's still really important that you can drive down a street and wave at people, and you know that car and you know that person or that person. I mean, I just think in a small town, it's something that is a necessary, and my hometown is big on those connections. So started working here more so to meet people and to know our community, and just kind of fell in love with it, and the people more so. Like,
Not your initial thoughts though. You came from Forbes,
yep,
moved in and thought, what the heck?
what have we done here? And I suppose it's through meeting the people that it's made the pub a really cool space. And, you know, we celebrate birthdays and births and just big milestones in so many people's lives just because we bump into them, you know, on the right day, or, you know, last week I was on holidays, or next week we're going on a cruise. And I just think it's really cool that we can, I don't know, just meet people and know about them through a space.
Is that the most important thing about living in a small village? It's like just having that village atmosphere and like knowing everybody.
For sure. And I think like what makes small communities really cool is that, you know, from the surface, what you see at surface level is totally not what's here. So people of all different walks of life, people that have been here forever versus those that are moving into our community. Like, we've had people from Sydney and Canberra relocate or partially relocate, and they're here for weekends and holidays and stuff like that. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just a really cool way to meet people that you normally wouldn't. Like, the friendships, I suppose, that we have here aren't friendships that we would have if the place didn't exist. Yeah.
From the outside looking in, it does look like Koorawatha is a town that's struggling.
Yeah. And I think that's
that's not necessarily the case.
No, I think it's probably a fair statement to say that it's not thriving 100%, but because of places like this, people are staying, and there are young people coming into the rural community, but you wouldn't know if you didn't have somewhere to meet them. Like, it's not as though we have a playground here, but you need somewhere to be able to sit and say good day to, or see your face a couple of times to strike up the conversation. And without this, you wouldn't know when new people come to town or they come and work on farms. And unless you know that farm owner or that farm manager and there's a connection made through other people, then you just wouldn't ever come
What's it
across
like?
them.
What was it like working here? What's it like working here?
It's so fun. So I've put myself in retirement for pub work anyways. Anzac Day, so we open super early on Anzac Day, as most establishments do. I'm a morning person, the publicans aren't, so I quite happily have that honour of being here to open the pub at 7 o'clock or whatever it is. But no, it's so cool. So we have, if there's local contractors and stuff in the area, they quite often stay here, so we'll have, you know, a turnover of new people, or with the accommodation, just new faces passing through constantly. And that's really fun. We've met some cool people that way. And just our locals are fun for a laugh. They've all got sort of their different quirks and different backgrounds. And yeah, I mean, it's really special just knowing the people, and being able to, when it's quiet, just stand and chat about the goings on in their world. I think it's super special.
For you, how important is this village? How important is it that it stays alive and thrives, and what needs to be done to make sure that happens?
It's super important to us. Like, we're here, you know what I mean? We're in Koorawatha. My husband's family farms here. His business is set up here, so this is our home. we're lucky that our best friend's farm is beside us, and we have no plans on relocating anytime soon. So it's important for us that we can continue to have connections, and those connections continue to grow. Because I suppose the thing that would be challenging, I mean, I'm quite a social person, but if I just had to exist in an area and didn't have people around me, that would be super difficult. I mean, in terms of what it takes to see the community continue, we're super spoiled that we have a show society. We still have a little annual show. We still have a progress association. Every year there's a car show that's run by locals here at the pub, so affiliated but not run by the pub. And those events are super important because it gets people coming out to visit, and it's the reason they come, and then the reason they continue to visit once they've been here and they've met the people. So
do you feel obliged to be on these committees and try and encourage people to keep them going?
So I have been the treasurer of the show society, and I might be on the car committee, but I would say yes. I think one, it's super important that people should get involved in the community they live in, but two, do sort of acknowledge that every rural community, like every little committee, has a change of guard period, and I mean, we're probably in that now with all of our communities around town, but people are still getting involved. So these things are going to continue to grow and run. I mean, our Progress Association is the reason we have a park that's what it be, 2 years old now. So, I mean, people are still keen to do things here, which is important.
And something else that's come out of you coming here and working here, you've got a pub bub.
I do. We have a pub baby who, in his vocabulary now, can say pub, and will quite happily point it out as we're coming down the highway.
Excellent.
I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing.
No, we need the next generation of people to come in and be interested about pubs.
Well, he knows where the poppers are kept here, so that I think is cute, I suppose. But no, it's it's cool having a pub baby. Like, he walks in the door, Paddy knows a few names. We do practice them in the car on the way here, but get super excited to see people when we get here. And you know, there's a couple of locals, which is so special, that, you know, they'll buy Paddy a chocolate or get him an icy pole or give him a chip or something like that, and he just shakes hands and blows kisses, and I mean, it's nice. And you know, we've got friends here at the moment, and their kids are all here, and it's just somewhere different for them to play and hang out. And I mean, it's cool that we could do that here. You can't do that everywhere. Yeah.
So how important is this pub to you, and like being part of the community?
Yeah, no, Hotel Koorawatha is super important to us. Like, yeah, it's our local. It will forever be our local while ever there's like good publicans and good people here in the community. And I think that without it, we'd see the town go backwards. So
you should take it on.
Oh, no. I at one point in time, I think everyone thinks I could run a pub for sure, but it's a special kind of person to be that on all the time, and we're lucky that the Delbos do what they do here, and they run the events that we run, or that they run, because that's why the people come. You know what I mean? They'll come and continue to, Yeah,
it's a pretty nice night to see all the families and people enjoying this pub tonight.
Yeah, it's really special. We're lucky, and awesome weather. I mean, it's sort of built for every occasion, every weather environment. So we're lucky. It's good in winter, it's good in summer. Yeah. And Sunday euchre, the best.
We've got to keep it. Do you play euchre on a Sunday?
Yes, play euchre on a Sunday. I haven't actually been down for ages, but at one point I was nearly the reigning champion. I was beating gentlemen in their 70s and their 80s.
Reigning champion of euchre.
Reigning champion.
Had your name on the board?
I was on there for weeks. Yeah. No.
And honestly, what would, you just don't ever want to imagine life here without this pub.
No, absolutely not. No, we need this space, and yeah, it's important that we have somewhere that we can go and have a beer. That doesn't mean, that we're in the car for half an hour or 45 minutes. Like, just something easy on a Sunday afternoon when it's a hot day like we've had. All the house jobs are done. Let's dip down the road and we'll have a beer. Paddy can have a play, and then we're into it. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Mate, thanks for the chat.
No worries. Thanks for having me. So good.
Do you need a water? I know you got beers, but do you need a water as well?
No.
Paddy,
I've had two.